Turn it on. Top of my shift, frog in my throat, sleep in my eyes. Starting to drift, cup of hot Joe, checking the sky. Never can tell, making my list, checking it twice. Fasten my belt, flipping my switch, checking my mic. Is there anybody out there, 1, 2, 3 on the satellite radio? Big Daddy on the air, are you listening to me on the satellite radio? At the galaxy's end where the stars burn white, are you tuning in, turning on? Is there anybody listening to Earth tonight on the satellite radio? Listen to the radio. Turn it on. Turn it up. What if they're right? What if I'm wrong? What if we're kings? One of these nights, play the right song, telephone rings. Stone in the sea, shot in the dark, split in the air. Listen to me, kindle the spark, answer my prayer. Is there anybody out there, 1, 2, 3 on the satellite radio? Does anybody care? Are you listening to me on the satellite radio? At the galaxy's end where the stars burn white, are you tuning in, turning on? Is there anybody listening to us tonight on the satellite radio? Listen to the radio. Is there anybody listening to Earth tonight on the satellite radio? Is there anybody out there, 1, 2, 3 on the satellite radio? Big Daddy on the air, are you listening to me on the satellite radio? At the galaxy's end where the stars burn white, are you tuning in, turning on? Is there anybody?
All right, hello everybody. We got Owen and myself here. We're sitting here doing. Thanks for tuning in. We got 27 people contributing music here, and we got music coming from the 1950s right up until year 2020. And if you have any issues, I know Pat, my brother Pat's telling me it sounds a little tinny. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I'm going to see if I can, get some bass or something in there, but I think it's part of the limits of what YouTube is. But hello everybody. Hope everybody is well. First song here is from the Decemberists, my sister Molly, from the year 2018. Here we go.
Everything, 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 everything is awful. Oh, everything, 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 crashing sound follows us around. That's the sound of all things good breaking. Put your fears to rest, you know it's for the best, as a choir of angels sings. Everything, 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 everything is awful. Oh, everything, 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 everything is awful. Everything is awful. Everything is. I know you work so hard to moist your own pizza. It must be so nice that quiet cloud in your side. Lay down your heavy head. It's safer hid in bed and let those voices ring. Everything, 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 everything is all. Everything, 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 every little thing, everything, 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 everything is awful. Everything is awful. Everything is. Everything is. Would you kindly keep it down? Just trying to get some sleep. Everything is.
Well, not everything is awful, because I got a Coors Edge, which is a non-alcoholic beer. You'll be happy to know. And you know, we got food and we're all healthy, and so I think everything's going okay, right? O says that's right, and he's a youngin'. So that song was from my sister Molly, the Decemberist, from 2018. Larry Brignotti, our buddy here in town, Rockville Center, was the first to compliment my good looks on the video screen. So his song is going to come next, "Running Scared" by Roy Orbison from 1961.
Just running scared. Each place we go, so afraid that he might show. Yeah, running scared. What would I do if he came back and wanted you? Just running scared, feeling low, running scared. You love him so. Just running scared, afraid to lose. If he came back, which one would you choose? Then all at once he was standing there, so sure of himself, his head in the air.
great Roy Orbison telling us not to run scared, I guess. We got a lot of people coming in different spots. As I said in the instructions, if you want to be on a chat chain, you can click the YouTube words and actually see this on YouTube. You'll have to log in as a Gmail or a Google user, and then you can chat on there. And we got a couple people asking for playlists on there or to publish the songs that we're playing here. I'll do what I can as I'm trying to juggle. I'm not that technically adept. And I got a lot of clicking of buttons and so forth to do, but I'll do the best I can. Next song here is coming from Jim Wolfie McGrath. It's the Ledge by the Replacements from 1987. It's a pretty ominous kind of song, ominous sounding song. Sounds a little bit like REM's Driver 8, 2 years after Driver 8 happened. So maybe it's when the Replacements started to start aping other people. I don't know. I remember that album, Pleased to Meet Me. My father gave it to my little brother Terry for Christmas that year, and went down to Tower Records and actually went in, and the Replacements were behind a table selling cassettes, and he was able to shake the hands of presumably a couple of the Replacements, and he wittily said to one of them, "Pleased to meet me," which I forever like. Anyway, The Ledge by the Replacements from Jim Wolfie McGrath.
I'm the boy they can't ignore. For the first time in my life, I'm sure all the love is in the high pledge. Won't reach the ledge. Wind blows cold from the west. I smell coffee, I smell donuts for the press. A girl that I knew once years ago, trying to be a beast on the phone. I'm the boy she can't ignore. For the first time in my life, I'm sure all the love sent them high to pledge. I'm the boy she can't ignore. For the first time in my life, I'm sure all the love sent them high to pledge. Breathe me the silence, all is still. Policeman reaches from the sill. Watch him try his best. Be no metal into his chest. I'm the boy they couldn't ignore. For the first time in my life, I'm sure I'm the boy they couldn't ignore. For the first time in my life, I'm sure I'm the boy. For the last time in my life, all alone, let me pledge. For the last time when I reach the ledge.
Okay, we had a couple of requests for Kenny Rogers song, which Frank Barry has been smart enough to put into his mix here. He was assigned. All these songs are coming from. Everybody was assigned 3 random years from the 1950s through 2020. So Frank Barry graciously, and I mean really graciously, because he's a crazy Bob Dylan fan, and he swapped out his one Bob Dylan song in 1978 for the Kenny Rogers song here. So here's a good Kenny Rogers song, Making Music for Money.
I woke up this morning, I was tired as I could be. I guess I was counting my money when I should have been counting sheep. My agent, he just called me and they told me what I should be. He said that I should make my music for money instead of making my music for me. And I said, I know that it may sound funny, but money don't mean nothing to me. I won't make my music for money. Gonna make my music for me. Now people only like the love songs, rock and rollin' not too long. They said, kids, you got to be commercial if you want to turn the people along. Now turning on the people, what a beautiful place to be. But if I spend my time making them up a rhyme, who's gonna turn on me? And I said, I know that it may sound funny, but money don't mean nothing to me. I won't make my music for money. Gonna make my music for me. I went up the country and I tell you about the scene. I found a place with much charm and much grace, wasn't touched by the music machine. The people were having a good time, everybody singing along, and nobody cared, nobody gave them a penny for singing this song. And I said, I know that it may sound funny, but money don't mean nothing to me. I won't make my music for money. Gonna make my music for me. Said, I know that it may sound funny, yeah. Money don't mean nothing to me. I won't make my music for money. I'm gonna make my music make my music for me.
All right, Kenny Rogers. My brother Pat noting that sounds like Kenny Rogers ripped off the band. Sounds a little sacrilegious on the day the poor guy died, but it is what it is, I guess, right? Kenny Rogers making music for money. Thank you to Frank Barry for sending it in. Thank you for not sending in The Gambler. And we're going to move over to 1981, a song from the Specials. I presume my brother Rory, this is from my brother Rory, who lives in Sunnyside. I'm guessing he's making some commentary about the state of the streets in the city with this one. This is Ghost Town from the Specials.
This storm is coming like a ghost town. All the clubs are being closed down. This place is coming like a cloud. Leaving the youth on the shelf. This place is coming like a ghost town. No job to be found in this country. Can't go on no more. People getting hungry.
A little eerie there at the end. Great song. Thank you for sending it in, Rory. So we've covered 2018, 1961, 1987, 1978. Blur.
Confidence is a preference for the habitual voyeur of what is known as. A morning suit can be avoided if you take a route straight through what is known as. John's got brewer's fruit, he gets intimidated by the dirty pigeons. They love a bit of it. Who's that gut lord marching? You should cut down on your pork life, mate. Get some exercise.
All the people, so many people, they all go hand in hand, go there, online.
You know what I mean? I get up when I want, except on Wednesdays when I get rudely awakened by the dustman. I put my trousers on, have a cup of tea, and I think about leaving the house. I feed the pigeons, I sometimes feed the sparrows too. It gives me a sense of
All the people, so many people, they all
something to do with your four-sprung dirge technique, you know. And it's not about you joggers who go round, 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 round.
All the people, so many people, like all go hand in hand, hand in hand, through their life. All the people, so many people, and they all go hand in hand, hand in hand, through their life.
All right, that was Park Life by Blur from Tracy McNulty. 1994 was the year. I'm going to play one from Tracy McNulty's husband, Sean Murray Nolan, who's laid up a little bit here. He's got some health issues and was lucky enough to be working from home at a company that doesn't let people work from home. Tracy's going into work and he's not. This one he sent to me a long time ago. It's called The John Wayne by Little Green Cars, which I think is an Irish band. I really like this song. It's from 2013. So The John Wayne from Little Green Cars from Sean Murray Nolan.
It's easy to fall in love. It's easy to fall in love with you. It's easy to fall in love. It's easy to fall in love with you. You go outside dressed like that. You knew what was gonna happen, didn't you? You talked to me like that. You knew I was slowly falling in love with you. And no, it's your neglect. It's the reason I'm so obsessed with you. When I asked you your name, you said John Wayne, and I guess it's true. Cause then you shot me down, doubled over and I hit the ground right in front of you. It gets in the Wild West. It's okay to choose. It's easy to fall in love. It's easy to be alone. It's easy to hate yourself and all your love is inside someone else. It's easy to take it all. It's easy to give it to when there's more people out there to love than people who love you. And it's easy to fall in love. It's easy to fall in love with you. The reason I'm so obsessed, you are what's gonna happen. I can't sit no one west. You are what's gonna fall in love. It's easy to fall in love. It's easy to fall in love with you.
All right. Little Green Cars, the John Wayne. I just realized that's actually not the song I like that much by Little Green Cars. Cliff, I forget which one. There's another one of theirs that I like. I actually like that one, but I don't. I like the other one even better. I forget the name of it. But there's a lot of texts coming in, side texts. I got a social distancing selfie from Larry Brignati, which I guess is on his screen somewhere. It's pretty creepy. And we got Pat Manzi, who's calling in from a motel room in Columbus, which sounded pretty dire indeed until I found out he was moving his kid out of college. So good luck with the move, Pat. And we're gonna put one on now. We have a lot of really good songs from before 1960 on this playlist, and one of them comes from Jimmy Cinnamon, who's my brother-in-law Brian's Uncle Jimmy. We refer to him as Uncle Jimmy, even though he's not my Uncle Jimmy, and probably would be insulted that somebody as old as me would call him Uncle Jimmy. uh, Down to My House by Rufus Thomas from 1968, from Jimmy Cinnamon over in Jersey.
Come on down to my house, ain't nobody home but me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gonna have a party, everything is free. Just you and me. Close up all the door, turn on the stereo. Down, down, down to my house, the place to go. Now don't you know? Come on down to my house, do anything you please. You don't have to worry, I put your mind at ease. I got the table set, we smoke a 7-minute cigarette. Down, down, down to my house, you dig it, I bet. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Now, come on. Got so many good things, you gotta like one. You want to keep coming back, cause it's gonna be fun. Love you with all my might, make everything alright. Down, down, down to my house, you see the light. Down, down to my house, down, down to my house, down to my house, down to my house.
All right. Down to My House by Rufus Thomas. A quick 2 minutes and 24 seconds. We kind of like those. uh, we're now gonna have. I'm gonna go with another. There's a whole bunch of Chuck Berry songs. People sent in a ton of Chuck Berry songs, so I want to I want to play a couple of them, and some of them I hadn't. I guess I'd heard, but I never really thought much of them. But this one's from Jeff Mills, who was assigned a date of before 1960. So it's 30 Days by Chuck Berry.
I'm gonna give you 30 days to get back home. I done called up a gypsy woman on the telephone. Gonna send out a worldwide hoodoo, that'll be the very thing that'll suit you. I'm gonna see that you be back home in 30 days. Oh, 30 days. Oh, 30 days. Baby, I'm gonna see that you be back home in 30 days. Well, she gonna send out a worldwide hoodoo, that'll be the very thing that'll suit you. I'm gonna see that you be back home in 30 days. And I talked to the judge in private early this morning. And he took me to the sheriff's office to sign a warrant. They won't put a cross charge against you, but that'll be the very thing that'll send you. I'm gonna see that you be back home in 30 days. Oh, 30 days. Oh, 30 days. I'm gonna see that you be back home in 30 days. Yeah, if we don't put a cross charge against you, that'll be the very thing that'll send you. I'm gonna see that you be back home in 30 days. From the church, I'm gonna take it to the FBI and push the grudge. If you don't give me no consolation, I'm gonna take it to the United Nations. I'm gonna see that you be back home in 30 days. Oh, 30 days. Oh, 30 days. Baby, I'm gonna see that you be back home in 30 days. Well, if you don't give me no consolation, I'm gonna take it to the United Nations. I'm gonna see that you be back home in 30 days.
Alrighty, the first of a number of Chuck Berry songs coming our way. If you hang in here, we're going to try to go till, I don't know, 10:30, 11 o'clock. We got a lot of songs, 75 songs or so. And at the end of this, I'm going to turn it into a playlist that you can listen to with better fidelity. I know the sound isn't that great coming out of YouTube. It's not really designed for music. I'm going to see if I can get a radio broadcasting program that'll let you do this, and you won't have to look at me anymore. It'll just be radio, a face made for radio I have. But I got my son Owen here, and he's sitting in the back. Owen, step up front here. Come on.
Hello, everybody.
You got to talk into the mic. There's been requests for you to let the freak flag fly. So let the hair out. Let's see how big it is. You gotta take it out of the ponytail. I don't know. Come on, show him. So he's a year removed from a haircut, and I don't think he's gonna get one because there are no haircuts, and I don't think he's inclined anyway. But you're out of it. You gotta bend down so people can see you. But anyway, how you enduring the break so far?
I mean, it's all right. It's interesting transitioning from living in college to living back home. Definitely interesting on a number of levels, but.
Interesting transitioning back home after living in college. It's also interesting having him back home for us. It's an interesting transition for us. So we're glad to have you. We hope you don't kill us before we're done. I'm going to see if I can find one of Owen's songs. He has a couple of good songs in here, but in the meantime, I'm going to do one from Laurel Barry here. From the band. Somebody mentioned, Pat was mentioning this a rip-off of the band before, or Kenny Rogers ripping the band off. This is a band song I don't know that well, but I really loved it when Laurel brought it up. So from 1969, one of her assigned years, Laurel Barry, Get Up Jake from the band.
Get up, Jake. It's late in the morning. The rain is pouring. We got work to do. Get up, Jake. day we worked down on the river, on the ferry Baltimore. And when Jake don't rise up in the morning, people line up all along the shore. Get up, Jake, it's late in the morning, the rain is pouring, we got work to do. Get up, Jake, there's no need of lying. You tell me that you're dying, but I know it's not true. Crab King will take you to the cleaner, rye whiskey to the grave. River woman, don't you come no closer, 'cause me and Jake got no time to save. Oh, oh, get up, Jake, it's late in the morning, the rain is pouring, we got work to do. Get up, Jake, there's no need of lying. You tell me that you're dying, but I know it's not true. Dirty Danny came up from Savannah, carried a mean streak in his eye. Now him and Jake both wanted Annabella. I guess one man here has got to die. Get up, Jake, it's late in the morning, the rain is pouring, we got work to do. Get up, Jake, there's no need of dying. Annabelle's crying and it's all for you.
Owen said I should figure out something else to do on the screen. I'm not quite sure what that would be, but anyway, that was Get Up Jake by the band from Laurel Barry. The Barrys had their wedding over this summer, which Kathleen, my wife, who is a wedding expert, claimed was the best wedding ever. So it was up in the Adirondacks. We had a beautiful time there. So thank you for having us up there. Next song, I've decided to pull one out from Owen. We haven't had any from the 20 teens or 2020. So he's got one from this year, right? This is from this year, 2020 from Pine Grove, which is a good band, band that's liked by dad and son alike. And I guess this guy is back from his self-imposed exile. We're all in our own self-imposed exile right now. This guy, the lead guy from Pine Grove, I think went into self-imposed exile because a punk rock psychologist said he had sexually coerced somebody by trying to talk them into being amorous or something. So, and he took himself out for a year or something. It's worth reading about if you haven't read about it. It's pretty amazing. But anyway, this is The Alarmist by Pine Grove.
You left gleaming a green rectangle around the door. Please be careful what you wish for. I whisper to myself, then I'm spinning it half around like an echo. Faraway sound saying, be good to me, be good to me. Out in the garbage, I am pinned and alarmist. 'Cause for as far as I see is terrible territory, and there's no one to reassure me. be good talk for my sanity. Now do what you feel like you gotta do, but be good to me. When you walked away, you still exist. I feel good knowing it. If it hurts me, why'd I rely so much on in the first place? If it's happening, then why's this feeling taking over me? And I believe in me before I knew you beautifully. And I believe in me before I knew you beautifully. And I believe in me before I'm lost on yesterday. Can I believe in me before I knew you beautifully?
All right, Pine Grove, universally adored. It appears everybody's loving it, and it's easily the newest song that we're going to play tonight. The song we're going to go into here is another pretty new song, one from 2017 from my brother Brian McLaughlin. But before I do, I want to kind of note the people who are tuning in here. We got people in London, Dave Gallagher and Noriko Gallagher in London. Got people in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and Galesburg, Michigan, and Brian Miller. We got a whole bunch of people in Rockville Center. The Franks are tuned in. Larry Brignati, a whole bunch of people named Barthel and with maiden names named Barthel. I hope my sister Maura is tuned in Sunnyside with my brother. I'm trying to think of other, Pat Manzi, as noted, out in Columbus, Ohio, and my brother Terry in Chicago. So thanks for tuning in. It's a nice little togetherness thing when we're not real together here, and it's real great. I also got a request to address an issue from the Upstate crew. It's said first time, long time, worst leadership, the Wilpons or the Trump pandemic team. I'll hang up and listen. And I'm going to go with the Trump pandemic team, having spent a lot more time inside than I want to right now. Next tune's again going to be from my brother-in-law Brian McLaughlin. He was assigned the year 2017 among some others, and this song is Daisies by White Reaper, which is a band we were looking forward to seeing and probably not going to see. So these guys are awesome. If you never heard them, White Reaper, Daisies.
Lose myself on a billboard. I'm still love. Every day, when you say I'm so really good, what to say. I gotta look away. I gotta look away. Yeah, I feel low inside, low, really good, what to say. You gotta go away. You gotta go away. Yeah.
That is a good song. Those guys are very young. I really like those guys. I'm going to play again. That's White Reaper. Song was Daisies from 2017. I'm going to go back 45, 44 years. This song is one that I chose. I assigned myself 3 years, and this might be my favorite Beatles song. I really have come to really understand that I like all the John Lennon Beatles songs the best of any. And I love this one, and I'm trying to get my brother Pat to sing this with me next time we have to play at one of these benefit shows that we sometimes do. This is It Won't Be Long by the Beatles.
It won't be long, yeah, yeah, yeah. It won't be long, yeah, yeah, yeah. It won't be long, yeah, till I belong to you. Every night when everybody has fun, here am I sitting all on my own. It won't be long, yeah, yeah, yeah. It won't be long, yeah, yeah, yeah. It won't be long, yeah, till I belong to you. Since you left me, I'm so alone. Now you're coming on home. I'll be good like I know I should. You're coming home, you're coming home. Every night the tears come down from my eyes. Every day I've done nothing but cry. It won't be long, yeah, yeah, yeah. It won't be long, yeah, yeah, yeah. It won't be long, yeah, till I belong to you. Since you left me, I'm so alone. Now you're coming on home. I'll be good like I know I should. You're coming home, you're coming home. So every day we'll be happy, I know. Now I know that you won't leave me no more. It won't be long, yeah, yeah, yeah. It won't be long, yeah, yeah. It won't be long, yeah, till I belong to you.
So that is a good song. Loving that. We got an argument going on one of the text chains here, and over whether there's 5 boroughs represented. There were a whole bunch of people saying that they're angry that I haven't mentioned that the 5 boroughs are represented. Then they went through and realized there's no one in Staten Island, no one in the Bronx, and no one in Brooklyn. It's just Manhattan and Queens. So 2 boroughs represented. Congratulations, and you know, that's not that much of an accomplishment. One of the boroughs being represented is Queens. My sister Maura is there. She's kind of hunkered down by herself. I'm hoping she's with Paul Searing, who's also hunkered down a little bit by himself. She wasn't feeling great, and she sent in a bunch of good songs, including she was assigned 1988 as one of her years, Teenage Riot by Sonic Youth. So here's that one.
Everybody's talking about the stormy weather. What's a man to do but work out whether this is true? Looking for a man with a focus and a temper who can open up a map and see between 1 and 2. Time to get it before you let it get to you. Here he comes now. Stick to your guns and let him through. Everybody's coming from their winter vacation, taking in the sun and exaltation to you. You come running in on life on smooth with macho styles to at least export the blue. Oh, here it comes. I know it's someone I hear. Teenage riot in a public station, gonna fight and tear it up in a hibernation for you. Now I see it, I think I'll leave it out of the way. Now I can hear you, but it's not clear why you make the way. Looking for a ride to your secret location, where the Jews are setting up a peaceful nation for you. Got a foghorn and a drum and a hammer that's rocking, and a chord and a pedal and a lock that will do you for now. It better work out. I hope it works out my way. 'Cause it's getting kinda quiet in my city head. It takes a teenage riot to get me out of bed right now. You better look it. We're gonna shake it up to him. He acts the hero. He came to 0 on his hand. know it's bound to this. Everybody's sound is bounded. Everybody wants to be part of the truth. So who's taking blame for the stormy weather? You're never gonna stop all the teenage letters. It's time to go round a one-man show that teaches how to feel. We're off the streets now, back on the road on the riot trail.
Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, and Staten, from the Battery to the top of Manhattan. I just wanted to do that because we were talking about boroughs, and I started thinking about Succession, which I'm trying to get Owen to watch, but he won't watch it. He thinks it stinks. So, anyway, that was Teenage Riot by Sonic Youth from my sister Maura, who's and agreed that that's one of the most rockin' tunes ever. Sonic Youth, when you know, when they were around in the 80s, I was more into like a metal kind of thing at the time, and people kept telling me that I would like them, and I never had the patience to get through the first minute and a half of their tuning up in the beginning. And as I got older, I realized what a moron I was for not having that patience, because they are so awesome. Anyway, we got the next song is going to be coming from Jim Golden from 2015. And it's from Churches, who, if you don't know Churches with a V, it's a generation bridging group with a really pretty Scottish woman and two creepy older looking guys playing with her. But it's just a great group, and we all went and saw them at Radio City, our whole family, with all the kids up and down the age spectrum and everything. It was just a really great show. Leave a Trace by Churches.
Gave up on time, just like you said you would. There are tiny cracks of light underneath me, and you say I got it wrong, but I try hard to uncover them. I have somehow got away with everything. Anything you ever did was strictly by design, but you got it wrong. And I'll go anywhere but there. And you have this belief that you're gonna build what I don't need. And I know I need to feel relief. And I know you'll never fall, but I believe nothing that I'm told. And I know I need to feel relief. I know I need to feel release. Take care to tell it just as it was. Take care to tell me for the cause. I need to feel release. Take care to bury all that you can. Take care to leave a trace of a man. I will show restraint, just like we said we should. You think I'll apologize for things I left behind, but you got it wrong. And I'm as sane as I ever was. You took far too much for someone so unkind. I will wipe the salt off from my skin, and I'll admit that I got it wrong. And there is gray between the lines. And you have this belief that you're gonna build what I don't need. And I know I need to feel relief. And I know you'll never fall, but I believe nothing that I'm told. And I know I need to feel relief. I know I need to feel release. Take care to tell it just as it was. Take care to tell me for the cause. I need to feel release. Take care to bury all that you can. Take care to leave a
right. Leave a Trace by Churches with a V, all caps too. It's a great, great band. If you don't like, if you haven't heard them before, they're worth tracking down some of their stuff. Next one is going to be from my coworker Brendan Yetter, who has a very good taste in music and has showed up at a couple of the Chop Shop events that we did in Rockville Center. I think he went and came and saw the Elvis Perkins thing when the Marty Brull, who I think is listening in here, and my brother Pat had a band rehearsal space under a butcher shop, and they used to have some artists come in and play. We had Elvis Perkins come in and play, and Brendan was there a couple of months ago. His song is by The Beats. It's called Cold Lips. It's only 1 minute and 19 seconds long, so I hope I didn't cut it off or something. But I don't really know these guys. It's a good song, and Brendan, if you're out there and you have something to say about it, text me and I'll talk about it. But Cold Lips from Brendan Yetter. This is from 2012. So that is a short song. I like the way that one works there. Cold Lips by The Beats, Beets, like the vegetable, like the root vegetable, not Beats, like Beatles. Beatles is a bad name. The Beets after a root vegetable is a bad name. Maybe we should just stay away from it altogether. It sounds like they're trying to do a play on the beat, just like the Beatles were, and neither one of them's quite good. Good band though, the Beatles, huh? Got some bad songs I heard. Strawberry Fields, Penny Lane. Next one is from Ellen Fagan, who is an artist, Ellen Hackle Fagan, who I know only through one of my coworkers, Phil Roosevelt, who I'm hoping is listening here. She's a terrific artist and has participated in the Great Unheard a number of times over the years, and is a real nice person. She has some Notre Dame connections too. I think her son went to Notre Dame. She has a really a song. When I first saw her send it in, I was like, that one sounds like we've heard it a lot. And then I listened to it, and there's just something about how sweet this song is and how sweet the harmony sound and everything. And when you're stuck alone in the house and everything, it's hard to beat this song. So here you go from the 1950s, from before 1960, and the Everly Brothers.
Dream, 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 dream when I want you in my arms, when I want you, and all your charms whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream, 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 dream when I feel blue in the night, and I need you to hold me tight whenever I want you. All I have to do is dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so that I could die. I love you so, and that is why whenever I want
want you, all I have to do is dream. Dream, 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 dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine, anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so that I could die. I love you so, and that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. Dream, 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 dream. Dream, 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 dream. Dream, dream, dream.
Okay, so I got the that's a beautiful song and we love it. I got the deal on the beats. Guy's name is Juan Waters, a Uruguayan hipster, now solo, sings in English and in Spanish. So that's the deal with the beats, Beets, like the root vegetable. This light, some people have been asking about. You ever have one of those purchases in life that you're just happy you made? This was $13 and I got it from Amazon and I've used it about 30 times now. Anytime I feel a little down, I just turn on the disco lights and for $13 delivered, that's I'm doing pretty good there. Next song is from Pete Dever, who was assigned the year 1997. He's trapped without a balcony to sing from in Lower Manhattan, and jealous of all those people in Valencia and all these other places who are singing War Pigs from their balconies and so forth. He's there with his two kids and his lovely wife, and he's sent in probably the first. Oh, this is the first hip hop song we're playing so far, and there's more to come if you're willing to hang in. But this is "Hypnotized" by Biggie Smalls, 1997, from Pete Dever.
Come on. Sicker than your average. Papa twist cabbage off instinct. Niggas don't think shit stink. Pink Gators, my Detroit players. Tim's for my hooligans in Brooklyn. Dead right, if the head right, Biggie there every night. Papa been smooth since days of under rules. Never lose, never choose to. Bruise, cruise, who? Do something to us. Talk, go through us. Girls walk to us, wanna do us, screw us, who us? Yeah, Papa and Pump. Close like Starsky and Hutch, stick to clutch. Yeah, I squeeze 3 at your cherry M3. Bang every MC easily. Recently, niggas frontin' ain't saying nothing, so I just speak my peace, keep my peace. Cubans with the Jesus peace, with my peace. Packing, asking who want it. You got it, nigga, flaunt it. That Brooklyn bullshit, we on it.
Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. And I just love your flashy ways. I guess that's why they're broken, you're so mean. Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. And I just love your flashy ways. I guess that's why they're broken, you're so mean.
I put O's in NY onto DKNY. Miami, DC, prefer Versace.
That's right.
All Philly hoes know it's Moschino. Every cutie with the booty, boy, the coochie. Now who's the real dookie? Meaning who's really the shit? Them niggas ride dicks. Frank White push the 6 or the Lexus LX 4.5. Bulletproof glass tints if I want some ass. Gon' blast squeeze first. Ask questions last. That's how most of these so-called gangsters pass. At last, a nigga rapping about blunts and broads, tits and bras, menage a trois, sex and expensive cars, and still leave you on the pavement. Condo paid for, no car payment. At my arraignment, no for the plaintiff. Your daughter's tied up in the Brooklyn basement. Face it, not guilty. That's how I stay true. Richer than richer, so you niggas come and get. Come on.
Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. And I just love your flashy ways. I guess that's why they're broken, you're so fake. Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. And I just love your flashy ways. I guess that's why they're broken, you're so fake.
I can fill you with real millionaire shit. That's cargo, my cargo, 160, swiftly. Wreck it by your new one. Your crew run, your crew run. I know you sick of this name brand nigga with flows. Girl say he's sweet like licorice. So get with this, nigga, it's easy. Girlfriend, here's a bitch. Call me round 10, come through, have sex on rough, that's Persian. Come up to your job, hit you while you're working for certain. Pop Papa freaking, not speaking. Leave their ass leaking like rapper demo. Tell them who, take their clothes off slowly. Kill them with the force like Kobe. Dick black like Kobe. Watch me roam like Romy. Lucky they don't own me. Where to say, show me, homie.
Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. And I just love your flashy ways. I guess it's why they're broken, you're so fake. Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. And I just love your flashy ways. I guess it's why they're broken, you're so fake. Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. And I just love your flashy ways. I guess it's why they're broken, you're so fake. Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. And I just love your flashy ways. I guess it's why they're broken, you're so fake. Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me.
Biggie, 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 can't you see?
Guess it's why they're broken.
This one is from Jane McGrath, wife of the famous Wolfie McGrath. Watching the Detectives from 1977.
Last girl's that one with a defect. Cellophane shrink wrap so correct. Red dogs under illegal legs. She looks so good that he gets down and begs. She's watching the detectives. Ooh, he's so cute. She's watching the detectives when they shoot. They beat him up until the teardrops start. But he can't be wounded cause he's got no heart. A long shot at that jumping sign. Invisible shivers running down my spine. Cut the baby taking off her clothes. Close up with a sign that says we never close. You snatch a chew and you match a cigarette. She pulls the eyes out with a face like a magnet. I don't know how much more of this I can take. She's filing her nails while they're dragging the lake. She's watching the detectives. Oh, he's so cute. She's watching the detectives. Oh, and they shoot. They beat him up until the teardrops start. But he can't do it cause he's got no heart. You think you're alone until you realize you're in it now. Fear is here to stay, or it's here for a business. Call it instant just when it's past the legal limit. Someone scratching at the window. I wonder who is a detective from the detective. You belong to the parents who are ready to hear the rest about their daughter's disappearance. So it really took a miracle to get you to stay. It only took my little fingers to blow you away. Just like watching the detectives. Don't get cute. Just like watching the detectives. Get so angry when the teardrops start. But he can't move it cause he's got no heart. Watching the detectives. It's just like watching the detectives. 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 Watching the detectives.
That is quite a good one. Thank you, Jane McGrath. 1977. Elvis Costello, a really good one. Love that one. Next one is from Billy Preston. This was going to be one of mine from 1971. I assigned myself the year 1971. It's an instrumental song. It's not that long. It's called Out of Space. And I stumbled across it a couple of years ago when I went down a Billy Preston rabbit hole after hearing some of the outtakes that he did with the Beatles. And it's just a really awesome rocking song. So this is Out of Space by Billy Preston from 1971, and this is one of mine. All right, that was Out of Space by Billy Preston. And the next song is going to be one I should have played earlier. I just realized that Dave Gallagher, it's like 3:30 in the morning where he is right now, and I should have gotten him in earlier. I'm hoping he's still up to hear this one. This is by Lowell George, the guitarist from Little Feat. from 1979. It's called Two Trains. I had never heard it before he sent it in. It's an absolutely great song. So I hope you're still up, Gags, and thanks for sending it in. And hope everything's going okay over there in London.
Standing around at the station, waiting for the daylight, but it's not on time. You know that Louisiana Railroad is the line I want to ride. There'll be a two-train running on that line. One train of my friend, the other's a friend of mine. You know it wouldn't be alright, it'd be just fine. Woman took a one train, left the other behind. Punched my ticket, porter took my name. Couldn't pay him nothing, so he started to complain. Down that platform, down that track, could not help but see a sign that's saying that there were two channel running on that line. One said my friend, the other's a friend of mine. You know it will be alright, it'll be just fine. Woman took one train and left the other behind. That Louisiana Railroad never run on time. Well, now, I lost my baby, nearly drove me crazy. Lost my money, nearly lost my mind. Well, there's a two-train ride on a line. One said my friend, the other's a friend of mine. No, it wouldn't be alright, be just fine. The woman took one train and left the other behind.
All right. That was Two Trains by Lowell George of Little Feat fame from Dave Gallagher over in London. And hope things are going well there. Next song is from my Uncle Hank, who's up in Vermont. So we got Vermont represented. I hear we also have Brooklyn represented now with the Pfeiffers checking in. Lynn Pfeiffer's out there. I'm guessing Chris too. Um, nice to be hearing from you guys. The next song is another Chuck Berry song. It's Little Queenie, which is from the 1950s, which was the assignment. This is actually from a 1986 concert from Hail Hail Rock and Roll. This documentary of Chuck Berry, where he's got like Eric Clapton playing, Keith Richards plays on this. I think Linda Ronstadt is one of his backing vocalists. It's just Julian Lennon, I think, was one of his backing vocalists. Just this insane band in that documentary. But anyway, it's a great version of a great song that you probably couldn't sing about right now without going to jail. So Little Queenie.
He's really laid the law down for playing that kind of music.
Tell me who's the girl standing over by the record machine, looking like a model on the cover of a magazine. She's too cute to be a minute over 17. Meanwhile, I was thinking, she's in the mood, no need to break it. I got a chance, I ought to take it. Now she can dance, we can make it. Come on, Queenie, let's shake it. I said, go, 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 little Queenie. Come on, everybody say go. I said, little Queenie. I said, little Queenie. There she is again, standing over by the record machine, looking like a model on the cover of a Woo magazine. You know she's too cute to be a minute over 17. Meanwhile, I was still thinking, if it's a slow song, oh, we'll omit it. If it's a rocker, well, that'll get it. And if it's good, y'all gonna admit it? Well, come on then, let's get with it. I say, little Queenie. I say, little Queenie. I say, little Queenie. Go, Keith, go. Again, standing over by the record machine, looking like a model on the cover of a Woo magazine. You know she's too cute to be a minute over 17. One more time, I say, little Queenie. I say, little Queenie. Queenie.
That was Chuck Berry with Little Queenie, the 1986 show with All Star Cast. We got a caller calling in here. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, is this the pirate radio show on Long Island that I'm listening to? Is that what this is? Is this DJ Matt, Long Island, from Long Island?
It is, and where are you calling from, caller?
I'm very upset right now. You're not playing enough classic rock songs from Long Island. I haven't heard any good Rats. I've heard no Zebra. There's no Zeppelin. I don't know how we haven't heard Zeppelin yet. And how haven't we heard Deep Purple yet? There's no Deep Purple.
Deep Purple and Zeppelin I don't believe are Long Island bands. Deep Purple, I believe Richie Blackmore, however, lived in Huntington for a while, and
Are they not unheard enough for you?
they're not that unheard.
Every song I hear sounds like it's either from England or it was made in 1957.
Well, two of the bands that you named were from England, including Deep Purple.
I want to hear bands that are local. This is a local pirate radio show. Do you have the good rats?
I'll tell you what, caller, if you stick around until about 11 o'clock, we'll play Who's Behind the Door by Zebra.
I requested Deep Purple, not anything else.
I'll see what I can do. In the meantime, we got Sister Jack from my brother Pat, who, for the record, is the caller and is 4 doors down from me. So something tells me in a non self-quarantining world, he'd be sitting right in here in the colorful lights.
Always on the outside, always looking in. I was in this drop deep metal band we called Requiem, and they say, relax, but I can't be a man that's found out on that. Whoa, oh no, I was on the suspect drawings underneath the makeshift pardon. Now I'm yours, now I'm here, beat it up, running back. But I can't relax with my knees on the ground and a stick in my back. Sister Jack, Sister Jack, Sister Jack, Sister Jack. Oh, Sister Jack, Sister Jack, Sister Jack, Sister Jack, Sister Jack. I was on the outside, I was looking in. I was in the drop deep metal band we call Requiem, and I can't relax with my knees on the ground and a stick in my back. Sister Jack, Sister Jack, Sister Jack, Sister Jack, oh, Sister Jack, Sister Jack, Sister Jack, Sister Jack. No, I can't just relax, knowing that you're calling back. Sister Jack, oh no.
Well, that was quite a good one. Sister Jack by Spoon, 2005. That's from Pat Barthel, one of his assigned years. We got the DeFuscos, my cousin Sarah and her husband Chris, listening down in North Carolina. They are two of the most, they two people with the best musical taste I know. Chris introduced me to a number of bands, including Raining Sound, who's one of my favorites, and I know my brother Pat and all my brothers love them. This song is from one of the old years that Chris was assigned for this little project here. It's 5, 10, 15 Hours by Ruth Brown, which is just a great song. And he's got a couple other great ones coming a little bit later in the show here. 5, 10, 15 Hours by Ruth Brown from 1960 from Chris DeFusco.
Baby, 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 I've got to have you for my own. Baby, 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 I've got to have you for my own. If you ever need me, baby, call me on the telephone. I wanna love you, love you, love you, love you, love you all the time. I wanna love you, love you, love you, love you, love you all the time. I wanna love you, baby. If I live to 99, just give me 5, 10, 15 hours of your love. Just give me 5, 10, 15 hours of your love. Give me 15 hours while that shining moon's above. I wanna hold you, hold you, hold you, hold you till the light. I wanna hold you, hold you, hold you, hold you till the broad daylight. I wanna thrill you, thrill you, thrill you till the sun is shining bright. So give me 5, 10, 15 hours there with you. So give me 5, 10, 15 hours there with you. Give me 15 hours and I'll prove my love to you. Well, if you ever think about me, Daddy, won't you let me know? If you ever think about me, Daddy, won't you let me know? I'll be your loving baby. You can be my so-and-so. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is a pretty awesome song. The saxophone in that is incredible, as it is in all those 50 songs, I think. Sounds like the same guy playing that thing in every one of those 50 songs, and he's awesome in every single one. um, we Next song is from Bryce Dilley, who's down in North Carolina. I think he's North Carolina, right? Yeah, North Carolina, or is it South Carolina? I forget. I'm sorry. But anyway, down south of the Mason-Dixon, Bryce, I know. Um, Bryce specializes in sending in songs that sound like that have titles that sound like random words put together, and this one is no different. Uh, Emperor Tomato Ketchup by Stereolab from 1996. It's a great song. I am copiously avoiding playing the song he sent in from Unheard, which is a uh, if you have any familiarity with this band, Unheard, the South African band, I encourage you to just look them up on YouTube and watch one of their videos. You'll feel like the world is coming to an end even more quickly than the coronavirus is doing right now. It's just horrendous end of days sort of Uh, I can't even believe humans have evolved to where those two people are in De Antwoord. I think that is the answer in South African. Anyway, uh, Emperor Tomato Ketchup by Stereolab, 1996, from Bryce Dilly down in one of the Carolinas. Okay, that was Emperor Tomato Ketchup by Stereolab. The switchboard is just lighting up here. I mean, the amount of traffic this whole thing is generating is just unprecedented. I have a caller here. Frank Barry's calling from up in the Bronx. You're not in the Bronx. You're in Upper Manhattan, right?
Upper Manhattan.
Upper Manhattan. All right.
Spirit still.
Well, I'm gonna play your song next. New Parchment by Mose Allison. Tell me a little bit about this song. Tell us all a little bit about this song.
Well, it's an old blues song that Mose discovered. It's about the Parchment's penitentiary in Mississippi. Moses from Mississippi was died about a year ago. He rediscovered the song, so to speak, and recorded it in the late 50s under Parchment Farm, and then re-recorded it in '64, which was my year, as a New Parchment, and changed up all the lyrics and gave it a little bit of a kind of humorous twist.
All right. Well, I knew nothing.
It's still about the penitentiary.
Still, he didn't change the core of the song. It's still about the pen. New Parchment by Mose Allison. Thank you, Frank, and we'll talk to you later on. Thanks for sending them in.
Great show. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
Well, I'm sitting over here on Parchment Farm. Well, I'm sitting over here on Parchment Farm. Well, I'm sitting over here on Parchment Farm. The place is loaded with rustic charm. I went downtown, tried to do what's right. I went downtown, tried to do what's right. I went downtown, tried to do what's right. Don't let nobody tell you them dogs won't bite. Well, I'm up every morning at the break of day. Well, I'm up every morning at the break of day. I'm up every morning at the break of day, and all I do is try to help myself. Well, it won't be long, boy. I'm gonna leave this place. I said it won't be long, boys. I'm gonna leave this place. Well, it won't be long. I'm gonna leave this place. I'm going somewhere on the human race. Well, I'm sitting over here on Parchment Farm.
All right. New Parchment by Mose Allison. Very nice one there. Next song is from my coworker, Brendan Yetter, who I got a dog barking in the background. Sorry, not so professional. When he found out that he had the year 1998, Brendan came back to me and said, possibly the worst year for music ever, which I think would be a lively discussion, but I'd be hard pressed to disagree with him, because as I started looking for songs from that year, there aren't a lot of them. Even bands like Oasis and stuff, I think it started to kind of swoon and not be putting out great stuff. But anyway, this is a song by Sparkle Horse, and it is a really good song called Hundreds of Sparrows from 1998. Brendan Yetter, my coworker.
just a blur. Afraid our eyes might be coming pale. By their sharp and tiny beaks. I'm so sorry. My spirit's rarely in my body. It wanders through the dry country, looking for a good place to rest. Your head upon my chest, and I can feel the pillow on your breast. You are worth of sparrows.
All right, Hundreds of Sparrows by Sparkle Horse. Next song is from my brother-in-law, Brian McLaughlin, another great one. There was actually a request for Built to Spill from Pat Manzi, I think, out in Columbus, Ohio, was asking for a Built to Spill song. So here you go, Mans.
Finally, I don't mind if this tries to find something else. Best not talk too loud. You're not as smart as you require of now. Your body breaks, your needs consume you forever. And with this lies the need to be here together. Funny thing with blood, you try to stand beneath the legs away. Just the side of love is where you'll find the confidence not to continue. Your body breaks, your needs consume you forever. And with this lies the need to be here together.
business. I think YouTube has suspended the stream. So I guess that's it for tonight. And we'll have to try it another way because I think there's some prohibition on copyrighted material or something. So we'll catch you next time, and thank you very much for listening. Sorry we had to cut it short.